Hello and welcome. So we made a video pretty recently about Gemini's fairly new capability to make storybooks. And there have been requests to actually demonstrate the read back capability. So if you want to do this along with me, you go to gemini.google.com and then you get here, which is just the homepage for the Gemini app. You may have to log in. You can use a free account, and they have different tiers of paid accounts. And then if you expand the menu on the left here, and you go to gems, there's actually Storybook Gem. And then I'll just go here because I've used it before. And then once you're in here, there's a couple of demo prompts and just a couple of things in here. We made a whole video about this, so go and check that out if you haven't seen it. But now let me go into the storybook that I made in that video and close this. Okay, so now this is the actual storybook, and it's basically the whole idea is broccoli flavored cereal. Why or why not? And once you click this, this is just Canvas, which you can do a bunch of stuff in here, multiple videos about that. But now there's a listen option, and you have a couple of things here. There's a higher pitched voice and a lower pitched voice. I'll do probably half on each voice just so you can hear the different ones. And then I'll just go through the book. Let me see. So let me just click on listen to start.
The Verdant Crunch. Florette stood in her sun-drenched kitchen, staring at a bowl of beige oatmeal that looked remarkably like the tax documents she had filed the night before. At 35, she felt she had reached the nutritional responsibility stage of her life, where joy was often traded for fiber content. Then, she saw it in the back of the pantry, a box of Emerald O's, a limited-run, broccoli-flavored cereal she had purchased during a late-night fit of health-conscious mania. It promised the crispness of a morning garden with none of the sugary guilt. The pros were immediately apparent. As Florette poured the cereal, a cascade of tiny dried green florets tumbled into her bowl. They were beautiful, like miniature bonsai trees prepared for a feast. She felt a sudden, inexplicable sense of moral superiority. By 8 a.m., she would have consumed 3 full servings of cruciferous vegetables. Her metabolism, she imagined, was already sending her a thank you note. Then came the milk. In a whimsical display of chemistry, the white liquid began to turn a soft, mossy shade of jade. It was artistic, Florette told herself. It was a, quote, savory matcha experience. She watched the transformation with the fascination of an alchemist, convinced that this was the breakfast of a woman who had her life entirely under control. Someone who definitely remembered to floss and never hit the snooze button. However, as the steam of her nearby coffee hit the bowl, the first con drifted upward. The scent was not that of toasted oats or honeyed corn. It was the unmistakable aggressive aroma of a Tuesday night side dish. It smelled like a vegetable steamer left on too long. Florette waved her hand through the air, trying to convince herself that the scent of sulfur was actually the scent of vitality. She took the first bite. The crunch was magnificent, sharp and rhythmic, but the flavor was a confusing journey. It was salty, earthy, and distinctly garden-forward. It was the taste of a salad that had been forced to attend a birthday party against its will. Florette chewed slowly, contemplating the existential dread of realizing that healthy and happy were currently in a heated litigation over her taste buds.
A knock at the door interrupted her internal debate. It was Oswin, her neighbor from 4B, who often stopped by to borrow high-end salt or vent about his sourdough starter. He took one look at Florette's bowl and stopped mid-sentence. Are those tiny trees in a pool of swamp water?" he asked, his brow furrowing with genuine concern for her well-being. Oswin reached out and took a single dry floret from the box Floret had left on the counter. He examined it like a geologist studying a rare mineral. He popped it into his mouth, his face transitioning through the 5 stages of grief in under 6 seconds. "It's like eating a multivitamin that's trying to be a potato chip," he whispered, his voice cracking with the weight of the experience. "But the antioxidants, Oswin. Think of the oxidative stress we're battling," Florette argued, though her heart wasn't entirely in it. She looked at the bowl again. The milk was now a deep, stagnant forest green. The pro was the health. The con was the fact that she felt like she was eating a bowl of liquid lawn. She realized she was trying to adult so hard that she had forgotten how to actually enjoy the morning. Oswin disappeared for a moment and returned with a box of his own, a decadent, chocolate-frosted cereal shaped like tiny moons. "Balance," he declared, pouring a handful of the dark cocoa shapes into her sea of green. The combination was visually jarring, a collision of a health spa and a candy store. Together, they watched the chocolate moon sink into the broccoli forest. The result was surprisingly tolerable. The sweetness of the chocolate masked the aggressive earthiness of the broccoli, creating a strange, salty-sweet harmony that felt much more like real life. Florette sat with her neighbor, eating her compromise crunch. She realized that being an adult didn't mean choosing the broccoli every time. It meant knowing when to add a little chocolate to the garden.
So that's the whole book, and that was half with the higher pitched voice and then half with the lower pitched voice. And I didn't turn the pages, so if you do the listen mode on here, it reads through, it turns the pages on its own, and I didn't do anything except change the voices. One thing to note, I did this before I made the video, and so the voices were already loaded. It does take a minute to load the voices, and like it took, I don't know, minute and a half, 2 minutes to actually load each one. And like when I switched from high to low, it also like paused and took another about 2 minutes to load the voice. So just know it's not going to start that fast. It will actually have to load the voice first. But yeah, I mean, that's it. So I mean, like I said, everything else with creating this was in the other video, but it's pretty straightforward. And yeah, so I mean, Gemini.google.com, you go into the Storybook Gem, you make your storybook, and then you have this option to listen, and you can do a high-pitched voice, a low-pitched voice, and then it'll read the whole book to you, or whoever you want it to read it to, and it'll turn the pages, it'll do everything. You just have to, I don't know, sit back and listen. So hopefully that's interesting to you, and we will see you next time.